Hey everybody, it's Denise Upsall again. I wanted to do another Pinterest video for you. I thought today that I would talk a little bit about what kind of pins get the best response on Pinterest. So to start out, Pinterest is a vertical vertical oriented interface. And so vertical pins are definitely the way to go. And here I'll open up this Pinterest board here, and as you can see, these pins are, longer than they are wider for the most part, especially those that are coming from a company. Here this is from Dot and Bow, this is from Disney, this is from Flip Belt, and as you can see, these are all narrow and long pins. Now if I was to just pin something, from online somewhere, it may not, and here, like up at the top here, this is a canvas that a girlfriend of mine made. So this isn't necessarily the best pin because it's small and it's horizontal more than rectangular. So as you can see, we have all these long vertical columns that show all the pins. That's why you want a vertical oriented pin. And part of that is having the correct aspect ratio. So what is that? What's an aspect ratio, right? That's just the proportional relationship between the width and the height of a rectangle. So Pinterest recommends a 2:3 aspect ratio, which means it's 2 inches wide by 3 inches high, or any form of that, same 2:3. So for me, I don't want to work with a small 2x3 rectangle, so if I multiply each of those numbers by 3, that would give me 6 inches wide by 9 inches high. That's still a 2:3 aspect ratio. If you used some, I don't even know, is that elementary or junior high math or whatever, you're still going to have a 2:3 aspect ratio, so that's where you want to be. Another option Pinterest recommends is 1 to 3.5. So that's 1 inches wide by 3.5 inches high. And that's, that's much more narrow and long than I like. So I choose usually to go with the 2 to 3, whatever works for you is great. So let's start out with creating your own pin. So I could easily go onto Pinterest, search for unique mascara, and all these things pop up, and I could just repin and move on, and it's not much work. But I don't know about you, but if you've spent much time looking for pictures on Pinterest, you see a lot of the same stuff all the time, and I think that you're better off trying to create something yourself that's going to be a little more different. So we'll take these out, search terms, we'll go back to our Pinterest homepage. So you want to start out with whatever board you want to pin to. For me, I pin to my favorite things. So I'm going to open that up, and on the left-hand side here you can see Add a Pin. So that's where we're going to go to add our pin. But first, we need to create it. So I do most things in Publisher, especially from my laptop. So erase all this and start over. Okay, so you can use whatever program you would like to create your images. I'm going to stick with Publisher because that's what I know. So to start out, I'm just going to insert a rectangle, which that is not. So we want to go in and format that so it looks the way we would like. So I don't want it blue in the middle. I'm going to leave the border. I'm actually going to make that a little wider. And then for size, we want to go with that 2 to 3 aspect ratio. So we can say okay. But like I said, that's pretty small to work with unless I want to enlarge it a whole bunch. But for me, I prefer more like 6 to 9. So I'm going to go back in here. Just going to show you that that's not a crazy term. So you can see here, if I lock the aspect ratio, and I know that I want it to be 3 inches wide, and then I click over here on, oh no, that's not 3, 6 is what we said, 6 to 9, right? So if I change this to 6, and then I look in the height box, since we locked our 2 to 3 aspect ratio, it automatically changes this to 9 for me. So we'll say OK, and now we have a much larger rectangle to work with. So what's the first thing we want to do? Well, Pinterest also tells us that multi-product shots are more interesting. You want simple and tasteful branding. You may want to use text overlay. You know, you want a good variety without being, you know, too much in one pin. So let's start out. We're going to just add one of my favorite pictures of the mascara. So I'm going to let's make sure we're inside the little bubble here. Not bubble, rectangle. I'm going to do that. And then we are going to enlarge this photo so it fills up our whole rectangle. Okay, so it's a little too wide. Okay, so now we have our first image in our rectangle here. And so now we want to add, you know, we want kind of get the multi-product. We have the mascara here, we have the small unique logo, and it says unique. That's very tasteful in my opinion as far as branding goes. Just because I'm very particular, I'm going to enlarge that so I can get it closer to the border. Okay. That's still probably not perfect, but okay, so next we are going to get some more products in that shot. So I'm going to go back here again, insert another picture. I'm going to choose this one here that shows the new spring products. So let's move this down and get it where we want it. Now I can make this smaller. So we can, you know, and you can continue to make it smaller if you want it, the entire image to fit. But for me, I can see that on the sides here that are outside of the rectangle, I just have the edge of the shine packets and, you know, part of the blending bud. So I'm going to shrink it just a little more so the blending buds are more in the shot. And then I'm going to crop this because I don't need the edges of this photo. So I'm going to go right here, crop, and this side, crop. And since I may want to put text at the bottom, I'm going to crop a little from here too, because as you can see there's nothing there that I'm missing. So that just fits neatly inside my little rectangle. So then at this point what I would do, oh, and I would also recommend adding a sort of a divider between your two photos. And you can make that wider. I did a 4-inch or 4-point border around the photo, so I'm going to do the same for this little dividing line. So that just separates our two images, and so you can tell that they're, you know, you're looking at two different things, but it still keeps them all sort of joined together. So at this point I would save this image as a JPEG and email it to myself, and then go into like a beautiful mess is my go-to usually to add some text overlay to the photo before I upload it. So I do have one that I've already worked on. I'm going to actually open both of these because they both show kind of two different options. Okay, so as you can see on the left, I just took that collage, if you want to call it that, and added this little swirly doodad and magic mascara. So that's going to pop. I have the bright pink, the arrow. Now what I also would recommend is doing something like this, on a photo here, but see how we left that blank space at the bottom. You could add in something here that says, and so much more, ... or you could put your website in there if you would like, but you don't want buy now, click now, shop here. You want it to be a softer call to action, where you're sharing, not selling necessarily. So you don't want to use the big, scary buy, sell, click, those words. You want to kind of, be a little more gentle there. So I would probably choose to say, and so much more, or and more, ... or whatever works for you. So we'll stick with this one since this has some text overlay. So if I minimize all this stuff here, and we're back to Pinterest, and now we're ready to add our pin. So we click here, it's on our device, we've saved it. So we're going to find it here, and it's going to upload to Pinterest. So you can see here in this little box, you can pick your board. So if you're started on the wrong board, you can go ahead and go here to the drop-down menu and change it. It'll show all your different boards. I'm going to keep it on my favorite things. You can see the photo is over here on the right, but now you need a description. And you want to make sure you're using keywords and search terms that are going to bring this pin up when someone gets online and is looking for mascara or makeup or a gift or whatever. What was I going to say? I just totally lost my train of thought. So the description is an important part of a pin. If it doesn't say anything, or if it just says unique, that's not going to get pulled up when someone goes to search on Pinterest. Because when someone's going to Pinterest, they're looking for usually recipes they want to cook, products they want to buy for their home, fashion items or outfits that they want to save because they want that look, or other things they just want to buy and they're saving for later. So that's where we fall in. So I'm going to just do a simple description here. Well, now I'm going to throw in something about extensions, because if someone gets online looking for extensions or information about that, that could pull up your description. So as you see here, don't miss out on the most amazing mascara on the planet. Get longer, fuller lashes with our natural green tea fiber mascara, and skip the time and expense of extensions. Makes a great gift for Mother's Day. So here you have gift, and you also have Mother's Day. Mother's Day's coming up. So those are going to be great search terms. Now for me, I usually add my website to the description of the pin. I do not use my personal domain because that can trigger a warning from Pinterest that the link could be spam. So I just go to my unique website and I just use my plain old unique address. I don't use a party link. I just unique products / my name or whatever you've chosen. So I'm going to plug that in here. So yes, if someone goes here and shops and they don't select a party, you're not going to earn for your half-priced items, but you are going to earn the same commission, and that at the end of the day is what's really important. So that's what I choose to do. And this is, Unique's website is secure. That's what the S is here at the end of the HTTP. Whereas if I was to use my GoDaddy link, that's just there's no security feature there. So even though it's taking them to the same place essentially, it just can trigger something with Pinterest. So I just stay away from it. So I think we're all good to go. You pin. There it is showing up here, but you want to say see it now. So that's going to show you, there's your pin, your description, all looks good. We're all done, right? Not so much. So we want to go into edit. And then one of the most important things about a pin when you're creating it yourself or when you're repinning is this source box. So that means if someone was to open a pin, like I just did, and they're on your board, or they search, they find this on their feed, and they click on it, so it brings them here, and if they know how Pinterest works, they know that they can click on the picture again, and it will take them to wherever that pin came from. Well, if you don't fill in that source box, all it's going to do is pop up the picture in a larger format, and it doesn't lead them anywhere. So you've lost that customer, because if they just go on, and Google Unique mascara because they're interested, they're probably not going to end up at your website. So you want to go back to that pin and edit it, and that source box needs to take them to your website. So I'm just going to copy that again and paste it in here for source. So now where that pin pops up on Pinterest, there it is, looks the same, and we click on it, same thing, it just enlarges it, shows the description, but if we click again, now it's going to take us to my website, and that's what we want. We want them on your website, and they can shop away. Now some people might choose to have them go right to their landing page, their shopping landing page, and you can also do that and just copy that address, because that's still the same thing. It's not a specific party that's going to expire. It's just going to take them right to the shop page, and you can see right there, add to cart. You can see all our different categories down here, so that's also a very good option as far as where you want to send them with that source box. So this would be a good choice also. Okay, so now that pin is good, and we can just, wait and see what happens. But now I want to also show you if you are choosing to repin. So you search for, let's just search for Unique mascara again. Oops, I should probably spell Unique right. So, well, let's say we want to do this brush guide. This is a great vertical pin. So you go to pin it. You want to pin it to that favorite things board. Now, when you're repinning, it's not necessarily going to bring you back to that board. So once you've pinned it, you want to go back to your home page, go to the board where you pinned it. I think I'm faster than the pin, apparently. There it is. So we want to go to this little pencil up here to edit, because maybe you're happy with the description, but this right here is going to take, look, where's it going to take us? Not to my website, to Robin Miller's website. And I'm sure Robin Miller is a very sweet and wonderful presenter, but I don't really want people shopping with Robin Miller. I would like them to shop with me. So that is why you want to make sure you edit that pin. Not sure why I'm not seeing the edit option. Anyway, let's go back to our board here. And you see that pencil. So you want to go back in there, you want to delete that source and change it to your website. So now if someone was to click on this brush guide, now it's taking them to my website, or your website in your case, not to Robin Miller's. Okay, so I think that kind of covers it for creating your own pins, and also what to do if you're repinning to make sure that you are directing people where you want to direct them and not to another presenter's website. And I know that you all know this, but another big no-no in the Pinterest world, if you see a pin about our mascara or makeup or what have you, that could be just pinned by, you know, the girl next door, doesn't work with Unique, has never tried it, whatever, or it could be done by another presenter. So what you never want to do is go down here and leave a comment that says, oh, buy from me at No, don't do that. Even if it's not another presenter that created the pin or repin the pin or whatever, no. Repin it yourself to your own board, and then you can change the source yourself. You can say whatever you want in the description, but don't go on and basically poach another person's pin and try to get sales that way. That's not going to do you any favors. So I think that kind of covers how to create your own pin. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comments on the YouTube video, or message me online, or comment on the Facebook page where this gets posted, or whatever. So I hope that made things a little easier for you, and let me know if I can help with anything else. Thanks!